My first semester at ASU, this program called Project Rose, and it was started by ASU social work professor, and her thing was like, I want to rescue these girls. How they did rescuing was using the police to arrest individuals who engaged in sex work, saying, you do this or you're going to jail. Take the service or go to jail. And I was like, this is not right. You can't fight coercion with coercion. If you're saying that these people are victims of trafficking, then treat them like victims and treat them with dignity.
Hello, and welcome to Power Beyond Pride, a weekly queer change-making podcast bringing you voices and ideas from across our fierce and fabulous spectrum to transform our world. My name is Mattie Bynum. I am the hostess with the mostest, and I am here today to just be a beautiful Southern belle and enjoy having a great time with these two lovely people I'm here in the studio with. My co-host today is...
And I'm Shane Lukas, and I am a ginger fiery rocket activist and have been for many years. I'm owner of a great idea and just love to be in conversation with such amazing people. And Mattie and I are your co-hosts on today's Queercast journey. In this episode, we are talking to the amazing Monica Jones, activist and founder of the Outlaw Project. Welcome, Monica.
Thank you for having me.
So great to see you.
It's wonderful having you here, Monica. First of all, can I just say, I love your spirit. I got the opportunity to kind of social media stalk you a little bit recently. Yeah. And I love it completely. Love. Welcome to the 40s. Yes, welcome. Yeah. But I love it.
Thank you.
I'll say this. Thank you for taking the time to join us today, Ms. Monica. And thank you for just bringing your wisdom to the group. A few people may not know about you. However, can you give us just a little bit of a background?
Yes. So I'm born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona, 5 generations deep here. I grew up here. I began engaging in sex work at the age of 20, survival sex work, to thrive in this world, because as a Black trans woman, it was hard. And I was not going to live paycheck to paycheck and circling the day when I got paid to feed myself. I was like, well, let me do the sex work, and immediately hit the ground running. And during that time, I realized this is a legit form of work and the skills you build. And I was like, I love this, and found my place and really got into harm reduction, the grassroots of harm reduction, because I was introduced by so many indigenous sex workers who were doing the same work and doing street-based sex work. And they were telling me how to stay safe, what to do, and everything else. And it was like this community. It was like every Friday, Saturday, we would just be out there making sure that we were okay. And then during that time, I went back to school to become a social worker, and really was like, I'm going to do this to help my community. And then graduated community college, went to ASU. My first semester at ASU, this program called Project Rose, and it was started by ASU social work professor called Rose Separates. And her thing was like, I want to rescue these girls. But how they did rescuing was using the police to arrest individuals who engaged in sex work. And that's like having the police involved with any kind of service is hostile, right? And it's saying, you do this or you're going to jail. And so it's giving you an option, take the service or go to jail. And I was like, actually, this is not right. You can't fight coercion with coercion. If you're saying that these people are victims of trafficking, then treat them like victims and treat them with dignity. And the first principle of social work is that you meet your clients where they're at. And I had a lovely conversation with this individual. I was like, let's agree to disagree. And then we parted ways, and I was like, I'm going to speak out and start with my core group here in Phoenix. And we went out there and protest, and we were speaking out about, and we were back page, and Craig's is emailing people and saying, hey, this is going on. You may not work today or only see your regulars. Meanwhile, like, I'm thinking like, well, can't do nothing. I have to go out for drinks and party. And immediately, like, I didn't drive. I didn't have a driver license at the time. So I would just walk to the bar, which is a mile away. It's not that far. And immediately was arrested for manifestation. And especially in Phoenix, the manifestation law does not apply everywhere. It only applies in low income areas. So if I was in Scottsdale, that law does not apply. That ordinance does not apply. And so it's broken window policing, and it only targets poor and low income areas, especially when people of color, and strictly targets women, especially trans women. And so spoke out about that, got national attention, got to meet Sharmus Outlaw, who's our organization's named after. From there, we started the Sharmus Outlaw. We started Outlaw Project. And then we were policy. And during COVID, we realized that like we can do more than just doing policy. And we started this whole program of doing tiny homes. And it's a long process, and we are still working and working and working, paperwork. And I realized I wish that we just bought another house. No, go ahead. And next time we're just going to buy a house with 4 bedrooms or 5 bedrooms. Y'all have your own room, y'all good. Upgrade that. And so it's a learning process as the executive director and founder of an organization, and learning from a community of what works best for them. Right. And so that's what I'm doing here in Phoenix.
I love it. And it's interesting because Arizona is often called a swing state, right?
Yes.
So because it has progressive movements in there, but it's also obviously got a lot of conservative leaders have come from that state as well.
Yeah.
What gives you hope, I guess, that change is possible there? Like, where are you finding that? Because many people are in their own communities not feeling that. And so I'm curious where you're seeing that in your state.
Hope.
We need to put an asterisk on that? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. There's no hope.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hope. I don't have hope. Even in those safe places, navigating these safe spaces as a Black trans woman, and realizing that even allies want you to code switch. Allies want you to be soft-spoken, not angry. And if you're angry, you're going to do passive-aggressive anger. And if you show like, I'm angry, and you're labeled an angry Black trans woman, or the other, right? The other is who we provide services to. So you're not my equal because you're angry. And so now we're going to put you as the other, right? And so it is that trans misogyny, covert racism that is still underlying in our community, especially allies, our true allies who are out there fighting for equal equality and all this other stuff, but have not tackled their own internalized racism and how they hold people of color, especially Black trans women, speaking for myself, and how we show up and how we deal with stress, right? And so until we dismantle all these systems, like what is the right way to be, the homogeny of our country, right? This is how you should act, the baseline of how you should act. I mean, no, we are all from different cultures, and anger and sadness and trauma look so different to us, where if someone is angry, they're still deserving of a hug and everything else. They're deserving of, like, how you doing? Are you okay? Do you want some coffee? Okay, you don't want to be talked to? I come back in an hour to see if you could calm down and everything else. And so I don't have hope. I think people are in their own bubble, right? There's a saying that says, if they come for me in the morning, they will come for you at night. And I like to switch that, right? And I like to say, if they come for me at night, they will come for you in the morning. Because a lot of people feel safe. They're sleeping, right? And all these things around them is going on. So trans people are getting our rights taken away slowly by slowly, right? There's no big uproar because of what they said. CNN, who was the most progressive news outlet, right? As well, trans people are the least people that we should worry about. We should worry about all these other policies, right? And yet we've seen the trickle down effect with Trump's attacks on trans people, immigration, and also now his new policy where his new direct executive order and everything else that like he can deport American citizens, right? And so who do you think he's going to deport, right? And so in that meantime, while you were sleeping, thought you were safe, you have a rude awakening, right? And so I don't have hope, but I do have hope for the resilience of my people, right? Of how to fight back, right? When there's a quote from someone when The Handmaid's Tale came out and the book, right? And they were saying, we are not going to let any good old boys take us out from our homes, right? And so that thing of fighting back, right? And I don't know about our faint of heart allies, but I know I'm going to fight back.
I know that's right.
I don't have the luxury of leaving the country, right? The white flight, right? The privilege. Oh, I'm going to leave the country. I'm in Europe now. Quit posting that, baby. Like, you were here fighting for us, and now you're in Europe. You're safe. But I don't have the luxury. I have to fight for my people, right? I have to fight for trans people. The hope I have is that people like me, Miss Major, and many other trans people who are fighting back, that's my hope.
Okay. So when we're thinking about fighting and hope and everything else, I know that we won't change around the country, but what are some changes and meaningful change that you want to see there in Arizona? What are some things that if people are listening, how can they help with change in Arizona?
This is what you can do. When the executive orders come in, you don't have to follow them. If like local levels, like, hey, if you're a business and you have trans people and Trump says, hey, trans people can't use the bathroom that they choose to use, you can fuck you and just move on, right? You can create safe places for people to exist, right? We can vote people in that it's gonna protect us, right? You can always just call your people in your communities and say, I just want to check in on you. I just want to make sure you're okay, right? That creates change, right? And making sure that like when we're out there protesting, it is people who are protesting that are protecting, that putting their self in front of for their safety, right? And so we have May Day, right? That May the first of May, where we all marching for rights and everything else. And it was nice to see everybody come together for the one thing, right? Like we are all coming from different backgrounds, different, what's the right word? Social experiences, but like different causes, right? Immigration and trans and all these other, and saying, hey, we all have a common enemy, but also we all are linked in some way, right? Because there are trans who are undocumented. There are trans who have labor disputes and everything else. And so realizing that we are all interconnected in the struggle to fight back against the system. So we need to enact policies and laws that protect trans people as humans. We need to make sure that trans people have access to their passports and everything else, have access to gender affirming care, because Arizona, they don't cover gender affirming care. They only carry support hormone therapy, and just making sure that our state is, no, actually, we're going to provide these services to so many people who need it.
That's awesome. I think everybody hearing that, I think that, again, and that actually can go across many states too. I think Monica will share about what's happening in Arizona. We can certainly parlay that out over the other 49 plus territories, and we could say all the way around. And so I think that's really powerful. We're going to continue this conversation. So we're just getting started here with the phenomenal Monica Jones, and we are going to be right back after this break. And we look forward to you sticking with us.
Welcome back. This is Power Beyond Pride, a queer change making podcast, and I am Mattie Bynum here with my co-host Shane, talking with the beautiful, amazing Monica Jones. And Shane, I do believe you had the next question.
Well, I just am really moved by what you shared, Monica, around how people can respond to this desire to like have hope, see change, like change is possible, or it's only going to be 4 years, or whatever the case is. And I feel like you and I are both from some of the same movements, especially around decrim and other movements. When we talk about anti-racism, when we talk about decriminalization of sex work, when we talk about these movements, they've been in these conversations for a long time. And I feel like many people they're like, hey, that anger that you've got. And I know, again, you mentioned earlier that oftentimes is used as pejorative when we talk about community members, but like there's a space for anger and there's a space for fury.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, is there a way for us to have a conversation that like, we should be angry. We should be angry when people are taken from their homes, when they're deported without any legal due process, when their children are taken, like when we talk about, again, the murder of people of color on the streets, like when we talk about these things, we should be angry. But I feel like we're often told, don't be angry. And I know for, again, trans women of color, for women of color, that is invariably a mantra. Like, don't sound angry. But like, we have to have a place for this. Yeah. I'm angry. We should all be angry.
Yeah. I think talking about anger, right? And there's different ways that anger show up, right? How Black people show grief, right? Sometimes might be anger, right? And to talk about this is a funny thing that I lost friends and I ended friendships because I was like, I'm dealing with some grief. And it came out and people were like, well, you sound angry. I was like, yes, I am angry. But we have the right to be angry. We have the right to yell, to cuss, to vent, right? To clap our hands, to yeah, because we have that right. And it's nobody else or no other race to tell us and to police us and to say, oh, that's ghetto. No, we have that right to that anger, right? And that anger is historic, generational, right? And so we, as Americans, we have the right to be angry, to speak out when trans women are murdered. We have the right, like you said, to be angry when people are taken from their homes and deported. We have the right to be angry when someone who is a citizen is kicked out of this country, right? We have the right to see when there's unjust treatment in our country, right? Where people who stormed the Capitol, who did that in acts of violence, but people who were peacefully protesting and who were not angry, right? They were peacefully protesting a genocide of people in Gaza, right? And they're being kicked out this country. And so we have the right to be angry, right? And so sometimes who has the right to tell us when it's okay to be angry, right? Because depending on the party, like you see how Trump was like, it's okay to be angry when it's in my benefit, right? Mm-hmm. But when it's not in my benefit, no, you can't do that. You can't do that, right? And so I want us to look at the policing of anger, right? Even now, it's very politicized, right? And so, but for us, our anger is our right. It's okay to go out there and protest. It's okay to cry, to yell, and everything else. We don't have to be demure and speak so proper and try to hold ourselves together when we want to say this is fucked up. There's all this shit, blah, 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 this and it's okay to do that.
Hearing that, and again, I love that you talk about grief, because I think, again, there is so much of movement work that is about grief, either what we experience, what we witness, what we're in community with. And I think that it can be paralyzing to try to, as you said, police that grief and that anger. Yeah. And there's got to be a conversation about what do we do that translates into action, and how do we hold space for this? Because it is a marathon. And if you don't make space for that fury and you just continue to make it, right, to shrink it, right, it is hard to do that over a year and continue to suppress it, because that is energy itself, right? Yeah. That is energy just to take that and swallow it and hold it. And so I appreciate you sharing that. It's really powerful. Yeah. Thank you.
It ends up like a volcano blowing up. Like so many years I held space for people. I was like, okay, I don't have the right to grieve, so I'm just going to hold space My grandmother died. I held space. My friends died. I held space. People who I loved, health deteriorated. I held space for the family. And when I was like, oh, actually, I need to let this grief out, people could not see me in that place of vulnerability. So they had to look away. And then I became, oh, there's something wrong. I'm like, if you're not a therapist, don't try to diagnose me. If there's no plaque on your wall, if you didn't go to school, please, if you don't have a master's or anything else, don't try to psychodiagnose me. Do not do that. Move on. And I feel like a lot of people do that. And so like, I want to talk about this last year, like 2014, like around summertime, I was like, oh, I'm feeling this grief. And I was like, I never got to grieve Sharmus' death, right? Because I felt, well, I barely knew them. We didn't share the same amount of space and everything else. So I was like, let me watch out for everybody else. And then I was like, no, I have the right to grieve Sharmus. And so I'm just looking at like the Outlaw Project and how that shows up every day now for me and the work I'm doing.
So I do want to ask about the Outlaw Project. I do want to say this too real quick before we get to that, to answer your question, Shane, to piggyback off of you, Monica. I think there's a privilege in the world to be, and we don't extend that privilege to everybody. That it's okay for sometimes for certain people to be angry, but say if you got strikes against you, if you are Black and you're a woman, you ain't got the right to be angry. If you're a white woman who is angry at work, you don't have the right to be angry. If you're trans or LGBT, you don't have the right to be angry. Because I remember one time my dad made a comment to me that you chose this life, so you can't get mad about it. And I was just looking at him like, did you really just tell me I chose this life? And even if I did choose, quote unquote, a life, I still have the right and the privilege to show anger, to show emotion, period, whether it's anger, happiness, sadness, grief, or any of that. I definitely agree. And that was just my 2 cents on the angry.
Well, can I ask you a question around that? Because isn't that then up to our communities, like our community organizers, the people that we're in community with, to create spaces where that's possible? Because what I'm hearing is not that the feelings aren't there, but that those feelings, if deployed, become a place of vulnerability. So isn't that where we should be looking at our movement saying, you're not like, and Monica, you talked about demonstrations and how community members are recognizing like certain people with certain privileges should be at a space, like taking kind of the first, let's say, negative responses, because certain community members are used to taking those responses. Again, like how we're thinking about, well, how we use privilege. And I think in the expression of fear, I guess that's what I'm curious about is, or not fear, but in the expression of anger, shouldn't our community members also be like, no, this is like, we should be all together saying like, there is space for this. There has to be space, because it is real and it's suppression in some ways. Again, I just think of all the community members who have just swallowed that for so long and continue to do that so that they can, again, as you acknowledge, Mattie, respond to an environment that has hostility in response. But then the question is, how are we doing better? And can we do better than that as community members who want to see things change? I guess that's my question.
Yeah. But to answer that, I'm sorry, Monica, go ahead. I just got excited.
I'm just listening. I'm listening. I'm like, yeah, it's good. Let's get into it.
I'm thinking like, okay,
this might be our whole segment.
Two things on that though, real quick. I get tired of people saying, how can the organizers of the movement make space for that? Because it's almost like going back to teachers. I can't educate you and teach you values and show you how to grieve and show you how to do all these things at one time. So the community itself, this is why I feel like it's important that the community comes together, not just the community leaders, but everybody. The sense of community needs to come back together so we can provide that space. Because if we wait for a select few people to create space for us, we may not get that space. And I'm not saying that we don't have people who are working in the activism section of our community and the movement. But what I'm saying is we have activists, we have organizers and leaders. But sometimes as a community person, you can speak up yourself and say, you know what, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm angry, but then also tell your organizer, I would like to see this space. So I think sometimes we sit back and we wait for the movement leaders to create that. It's just like that person is dealing with 2,100 things at one time to help the movement. If you see that there's a space that is being voided that we need to fill, let me know. That's why we're here together as a community. That's not why I'm the head and you're the movement. No, we're a community of a movement because we're supposed to work together and do that. You know what I'm saying? And networking together. Monica, you have this group called Outlaw, which I quite heard you scoop by at the beginning of this interview, that you were an executive member or organizer or in a position, executive director. Like you said that so smoothly. I want to go back to that. Can you tell us about the Outlaw Project and what it is, the name, where it got the inspiration for it?
Yeah, so the Outlaw Project comes from Sharmus Outlaw, who was an amazing activist, sex worker rights, HIV policy, who passed away in 2016 due to a lapse in their healthcare due to a gender marker discrepancy, right? And this happened all the way in 2016, right? And died. And so, I was on my way. We went to Desiree Alliance Conference in New Orleans, and I was trying to come up with a name. And I gave this passionate speech about Sharmus and like why there's no flowers at the at Desiree Alliance for Sharmus. It was like a dry thing, and they was like trying to sweep over that. And I was like, no, we're going to give a speech about Sharmus. And then right after that, I had to go to South Africa for the International HIV Conference in Durban, South Africa. And I was on the plane and I said, I'm just going to name my organization the Outlaw Project, because I realized that all the things Sharmus wanted, she should have had, right? She should have had secure housing. She should have had her own private health care. All these things so that like she should have been here and enjoyed all these things. And so that's where we got the name. And then Sharmus, before she passed away, she did this amazing report called Nothing About Us Without Us. That question, like ask questions to translate, like, what do you need? And a lot of it was like secure housing. And so that I had that report, COVID hit. And I was trying to do housing for trans women. And I was just laughing at my girls. I'm like, quit getting kicked out. Because we're doing housing and you keep getting kicked out, girls. We can't, no. And it's a thing that we have to teach our girls. And it's just like, I was like, if you told us you had no friends and we go to the house and there's 20 people in the house, you're going to get kicked out because we're not the owners of these places, right? And so I realized that we have to build things and to make sure that our trans people are safe and have secure housing, right? And then what I also noticed when we were doing this, that like some girls are like, I just need a place to shower, store my clothes, wash my clothes, get a hot meal. And I said, oh, they're like, yeah, I'm good. And so now we are moving towards like doing outdoor showers at our organization, at our place in Tucson, and everything else, so that doing vending machines, like harm reduction vending machines and everything that one may need, right? Because I think it's very important to, like I said, to meet your clients and your individuals, people within your organization where they're at, right? And sometimes, a lot of times, groups and service providers try to force individuals to get the help, but it comes with a lot of restrictions and rules and everything else. And rules are great and to maintain the safety and the longevity of an organization. But sometimes when someone just needs like a place to sleep for a couple of days, is that rules there, right? And so making sure that we come up with solutions for that, right? And so hoping that in 5 years that we have 3 houses, right? One for people who just, we just need a place to sleep. I'm just in town for a little bit. I'm gonna be back out and everything else. And so meeting people where they're at, and that's what I like to say. We're gonna meet you where you're at. If you just need toothbrush, toothpaste, just let me know, and we're gonna get that. And so doing our work it's hard because everything's like we are $1 million organization. I'm like, we're not a $1 million organization. I just make it look good because I know how to do things in a way that works for us, right? And I was like, no, our budget is small, but we do things to our community and we give to our community. And so it doesn't matter what happens is I want to be there for our community. I want to make sure that our community have a hot meal. So sometimes I just do come over and eat, right? And we get people to come over and eat. I cook or we do soul food because I also wanted them to get that taste of home, right? And so, because sometimes that memories and that taste, right? I'm like, oh, what you cooking? And I'm like, I'm making them roast and mashed potatoes and all these other stuff. Come over and eat. And so,
Well, you better
next,
stop because I'm about to
hopefully,
get hungry.
yeah. So, hopefully for Juneteenth, we can. I know I'm a cook. You follow my Insta, and so hopefully for Juneteenth, we're looking to do a barbecue in the park, right? That's free for everyone to come and eat and party, right? Do the fan dance, the electric slide, everything, because I want community to exist and thrive, right? And just to be themselves.
I know that's right. And sorry to cut you off because I know you're on the roll. And I love everything that we're talking about. And I'm coming for that beef stew, and I will be there to suck on a rib bone because I love my bones when it comes time for the summer cookout. So I got you. And I got my fan ready for my fan dance. You hear me? All right. But in the meantime, I do have to say this real quick. We do have to go take a short break. So in that 10-second break that we're going to take, people, go get your fans, go get you a rib. It is Sunday or whatever day you're listening to this on. So go get you a hot plate, DoorDash it, and we'll be right back with the beautiful Monica Jones. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Power Beyond Pride, where we are talking with the activist powerhouse Monica Jones. I'm Shane Lukas, and I am here with my amazing, wonderful Southern belle of a beauty, Mattie Bynum. Monica, we're talking about the movement work you do, but now we want to know more about you personally.
So I do have a question for you. Our title of our show is called Power Beyond Pride. So when you think of Power Beyond Pride, what does that statement mean to you? Power Beyond Pride.
So that means like
we caught you off guard with that one.
It means fuck your pride. It's beyond this. It's because like sometimes pride is only like this one day, right? But it's like there's power on that. Like I'm still trans even after pride. I'm still me after pride. It is not just like one day where it's commercialized and we have to pay to get in. I'm this every day. So I'm not here for you just to gawk at when you come with your, let's go to Pride. All you straight people that want to go to Pride. Oh, let me take a picture. No, baby, no.
Say the word.
I love it. I love it. It's super powerful. Again, it's thinking about it's so much bigger than I think the movement sometimes lets us talk about it. And I love that you're saying that. Like it's every day. So this is an everyday piece. Well, now we're in their speed round. So in the speed round, we are going to be asking you some questions and you'll get any time to think about it. You just got to give us the first answer that comes to your mind. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. Mattie, you want to take the first one?
What's a word you love the sound of?
What word? Fuck it up.
All right, fuck it up. All right, tell me back.
What's the worst advice you've ever received?
Oh, get over it.
What's the best?
Best advice? Ooh. The best advice, fight back.
I love it. Okay, right there. That's a t-shirt right there.
Fight back. You better fight back.
So if you were a flavor of ice cream, what would you be and why?
Oh, strawberry cheesecake.
Ooh.
And why? Because I'm the best. I'm a Sagittarius. And not everyone can have strawberry cheesecake. And like, when you get me, you're going to remember me.
Yes.
I can see that. Right. I was actually thinking a little bit of sweet and a little tart, like most Sagittarius is. Y'all sweet and tart at the same time. Okay.
A little hard pieces in there too.
So we're all going to go out for a big meal after this is over too, because you know what? I want to know what's your favorite meal to cook.
Oh, so my favorite move is soul food. So I do, because I cook for a lot of people and a lot of vegans. So I do fried chicken. And then I also do fried oyster mushrooms. And so that's my go-to meal. But then my go is like pot roast, because you set and forget about it. You come back and everybody thinks you've been cooking for an hour. Baby, that pot roast and that mashed potatoes and those corn and everything else. Sunday dinner.
That's how you know we old, because we all be saying set it and forget it and know exactly where that came from. Okay.
Yeah.
What's a book that significantly impacted you?
A book. Oh, damn it. I know it. Oh my, I forgot the name of it. I was just looking at it and I totally forgot the name. But I really think about The Hate You Give Me right now because it really does talk about code switching. It really does talk about how we as allies have to code switch too in our day-to-day life. And you really realize that, yeah, I have to code switch a lot.
All right. So here's my next question, because I know you mentioned you might be hitting a concert with one of these folks. So who would win in karaoke, Beyonce or Lauryn Hill?
Beyonce.
All right. Is there a favorite Beyonce song?
Come on now. Beyonce hit all she could sing and every different thing she wanted.
I'm not
and y'all
saying
saw what
she can't. I'm not, but I'm still a Lauryn Hill. I think Lauryn Hill will be better in karaoke than Beyonce.
I mean,
16-year-old Lauren, not current Lauren.
I mean,
16-year-old.
We're gonna see the throwdown now.
Oh, why they gotta be? Can they just do a song together and we'd be like, "Oh, bitch, that
would be nice."
Oh, that would be amazing.
They all be right.
Okay, you know what? I think we've made a request. We need to contact both our agents and be like, yes, this duet needs to happen.
Yes.
On board.
Okay, next question. First red flag that a trick or a hookup was going to be work.
Damn it. My last relationship. Oh, that was a 6-year long dive into that. And I'm still recovering. How I knew it was going to be work. Because I lied to her the first day. I was like, yeah, I got a taste for bad motherfuckers. And like, when you were like, I like him. I was just like, ooh. And so I knew it was going to be bad because I'm like, I'm instantly attracted to him. So there must be something wrong with him because there's always something wrong with me. So so I knew it. So I was like, I set myself up for a 6-year heartbreak.
What do you celebrate about yourself that you think like people need to see more of, that you wish people saw more of?
I think I love that, like, I have this young energy. And someone said, you just have a young energy. And I was like, yeah. And I always thought, damn, I don't feel like I'm 40. I feel like I'm still like in my teens. I feel like I act like I'm in my teens. So I'm like carefree. And then, so you just have this young energy, but then you also have this maternal energy that comes out of you when it needs to. So some people are taken aback by you, right? Because you're just goofy and fun, and you like telling jokes and like a comedian. Then all of a sudden you just show up as this nurturing side, and people are like, "Oh, wow."
That's beautiful. I love that. That's awesome. Okay, so thank you for sharing that. Next question is, what's a piece of clothing that you can't bring yourself to get rid of, though you should?
Oh, dang. All my clothes. You know, I look here, all my Shein clothes. I know I should not be wearing those clothes, but I'll be buying them and they get me off Instagram and Facebook. So one piece I know I should get rid of is this jacket that I have, and I should not be wearing it no more. It's like torn, it's like itchy, and I want to get rid of it, but I'll just keep it. And I just feel like I just need to fold it up and put it up in storage, but it's always in my closet. I'm like, why are you still here?
There's so much to think about in that, right? That is so many stories of our lives are that, right?
I was like, I'm going to wear you again one day. Maybe when I'm 60, I'm going to wear you with a scarf and everything else when I'm just a little bit more mature enough for you again.
I love it, because things do come back in style. I got clothes now that I bought many years ago, and now they're back in style all over again. Like Bongo jeans. Woo, we not going there. Last question. Best song that you've ever done burlesque?
Burlesque. Oh, you know what? Okay, so this is funny. It wasn't a burlesque show. I did a show to it. And it was the Lauryn Hill. See, now this is right full circle. X Factor. It was X Factor. It was X Factor.
You can love them both.
That's the first time I ever cried on stage doing a song. And I think that was the best song, and it was very emotional.
Thank you for sharing that. And you can love them both. So we're only making you choose for fun, but you don't have to choose.
Yeah.
Well, Monica, I had to ask that question because, like I told you, I've been social media stalking you just a little bit, and I saw some of your performances. So I was like, I gotta ask, which is like her favorite performance
Yeah.
that she's ever done on song that you've
Okay.
performed to.
My clapback game on Instagram is I'm so strong on my clapback game. And it's like, Mother, quit outing people on Instagram. I'm like, no. And I'm like, I'm gonna keep doing it. You keep showing up and you keep being racist, being transphobic, and anything else. I'm gonna post you on my Instagram. It's like the shade room, but small.
I don't blame you not at all because I think we're in a season where we got enough closeted racists and closeted bigots and closeted people who are small-minded. So it's good to be in a space to where we can now recognize who is who and understand who is who. But since I have referenced your social media so much, before we leave this evening, do please tell everybody where they can find you and follow you on social media.
Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram at TS Monica, and you can also follow us at the Outlaw Project.
Awesome. Monica, thank you so much for being here. I know we're out of time for today's podcast. We hope you'll be back with us.
Yeah.
We would certainly love to have you back in conversation. Again, hear about all you're doing there in Arizona and obviously the impact you're having across the country. So again, thank you for that so much. What the world needs is your wisdom and your passion. And so I look forward to having you back in community.
Thank you so much. Now, for the order this food, I wish you guys nothing but the best.
Well, I do. I am glad you came. I had a ball with you. So my name is Mattie Bynum. I am one of your co-hosts for the evening, and you can follow me at Instagram, Mattie Simone 737, Facebook, Mattie Bynum, and that is about it.
Oh, and I'm your co-host, Shane Lukas, and you can follow me at shanelukas.com as well. And remember to subscribe and get your friends to subscribe to Power Beyond Pride on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And check out our site at powerbeyondpride.com.
Power Beyond Pride is a project from A Great Idea, a queer-owned design and content agency. Learn more about them at agreatidea.com.
This episode is produced by Shane Lukas. Smita Sarkar is the project developer. Our editor is Jarrett Redding with support from Ian Wilson.
We are both part of this podcast, Awesome Host Team, and we invite you to send in your questions, comments, and concerns, and anything that you would like to see us talk about on Power Beyond Pride at powerbeyondpride.com.
Check out our new episodes each week, and we look forward to queer change making with you, along with Monica Jones and so many incredible leaders and people across the country next time. So thank you from all of us at Power Beyond Pride.